Good morning, afternoon, wherever it's for you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to the third episode of A Breath of Fresh Football. Logan, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's another week. We weren't able to record last week. We both had busy schedules, but we appreciate everyone being here and giving us a listen for another week. So let's just talk about some of the news that's going on. Logan, what's your thoughts on Stafford getting traded to the Rams and Goff getting traded to the Lions?
Um, First off, honestly, a great move by the Rams. Yeah, they gave up a lot of picks, but they haven't had a first round pick since 2015,
2016.
and they won't have one
Well,
next
yeah, 16 is when they
16.
drafted Goff.
So they won't have one this year, next year, but they got themselves a solid quarterback. Matthew Stafford's been my favorite quarterback since I started watching football. Very, very underrated. Throws up great numbers. He was throwing up great numbers even when Calvin wasn't there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Stafford
great,
is
great
one of those
pickup.
underrated QBs. He does the thing he gets knocked for is he's never won a playoff game, and it's because he's been with the Lions. So I do think it's a good trade for the Rams because they're trying to go in, they're trying to get over the hump. I mean, Goff isn't terrible. Goff got them to the Super Bowl, but I the Rams want to get over the hump. And I mean, Goff wasn't the greatest last year, and they're looking for more consistent QB play. I mean, Goff is not a bad QB. He's just very average. He has some great games. Like if you remember back to Monday Night Football a couple years ago when he threw for 400 yards, 4 TDs against the Chiefs. But you have other days where he just isn't anything special. So Goff is happy to be with the Lions. He wants to be somewhere where a team wants him, and the with how quick the Rams traded him, you could tell they didn't want him there anymore. So I do think Stafford to the Rams is a um, good trade, and I think he's got good weapons around him.
I think Stafford and McVay will be a very good duo
Yeah,
together.
I do think it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I do think Stafford is a very underrated QB. I think it's kind of crazy. The last time the Rams had a first round draft pick was 2016 when they traded two draft picks to trade up to draft Goff, and then they send two draft picks away to get rid of Goff, which is kind of funny.
Well, I mean, you could just tell that they were just done with him. They were done with Goff. Goff wasn't the answer for him. Maybe Matthew Stafford
The
is.
one thing I was listening to a podcast today, and the one thing was like, the Rams drafted Goff, but that was before McVay was even the coach. So Goff was never McVay's QB. They brought McVay in wanting to, help Goff, but McVay didn't select Goff, so it wasn't his QB. This is the first time McVay is getting a QB he wanted. So I think he's happy with what's gonna happen. I also think it's kind of crazy that the Rams won't have another first round draft pick for at least what 2 or 3 more drafts.
That sounds right. I have it right here. Hold on. I thought I did. Maybe I don't.
But yeah, I do think it'll be a good fit. I think the Rams have good weapons for Stafford to finally win a playoff game.
Another fun fact about that, though, 22 quarterbacks drafted in the first round between 2009 2016. Only one is still on the team that drafted him, Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz might not be there
Wow,
much
that's
longer.
kind of crazy. No, I don't think they're gonna trade Wentz. They because they fired Doug Peterson. I think the new coach. He worked with Frank Wright, or however you say his last name, in Indianapolis, and that's the year before when Frank worked with Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. That's the year Carson Wentz was putting up his MVP like season. So I think that's the reason why they hired the offensive coordinator for the Colts is they're trying to get back to the way Frank's offense was, so Wentz can put up some good numbers again. The thing is, the Eagles don't have anything on offense, wide receiver wise, to even make any QB, even Jalen Hurts, succeed out there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't think they're going to trade him though.
I mean, I never thought Matthew Stafford would have gotten traded from the Lions. Never would have thought Tom Brady got let go. You never know in
Well,
the
Tom Brady
NFL.
didn't get let go. He chose to leave. And with the way the Patriots are financially right now, there's no way they would even been able to bring Brady back anyways. But going back to Stafford, that was they said it was mutual, but I think Stafford was ready to go. And I mean, maybe the Lions were ready to um, let him go too. I don't know. But I mean, I think that was more Stafford wanted out. But because he didn't want to sit through another rebuild, another new coach. I mean, I don't even know how many coaches he's had, 2 or 3, but I mean, he didn't want to sit through another one, especially after how Pat
Um,
Patricia
I
did.
I saw that the Panthers offered the number 8 overall pick in a late round. Washington offered the number 19 in a third rounder. The Colts never offered the 21st, but discussed other packages. 49ers never made an offer, and the Jets never made an offer. So, I mean, the Rams gave him the best
Yeah, oh
offer.
yeah. I mean, you get a QB, which I mean, hopefully Goff does well in Detroit, but you get former first overall draft pick, and you get yeah,
And
and
he's
you
a
get
very good quarterback.
2 first round draft picks. Like, I mean, that's a deal you got to take.
Yeah. And, honestly, the Rams are kind of sitting pretty. Their running backs are starting to develop. They got 2 really good receivers. Defenses look good. They need to work on their secondary just a little bit. Jalen Ramsey's really all they
Yeah,
have.
I don't know who the
But
other cornerback is for the Rams on the top of my head. All right,
I
let's
don't know
jump
either.
into another topic here. So Logan, the Texans hired a former Ravens coach. What's your thoughts on that?
So here's my thing. On the top of your head, name one good Ravens receiver in the past. We'll say we'll say decade. We'll say past 10 years.
I
Name
mean,
one
I
really.
remember Anquan Bolden, but I don't know how well he did in Baltimore.
We had Anquan Bolden. He did decent, but it was towards the end of his career. We got Steve Smith, which Steve Smith was actually very good for the Ravens, but that was towards the end of his career. But really, no one's been a top receiver. So you hire someone who was has receivers that are just no one really. They're just not good. I mean, they're good, but at the same time, they're not good. If you get
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, and Deshaun Watson now officially wants out. He's requesting a
yeah. I
trade.
mean, I think the Texans totally butchered that. I mean, you have a star QB that wants Eric, the Chiefs offensive coordinator, and they decide to go with someone else. I mean, I know Watson probably wanted out. I don't know if he would have still wanted out if they would have hired Eric, but like, I don't know. I don't understand what went through their thought process. And like I brought up, I think on the first or the last episode, the Texans were the first team to fire their head coach, and they're the last team to hire one. That's how bad you can tell that they butchered
And I
the
mean,
whole process.
maybe this head coach will be a good head coach. I don't know. I mean, they just And maybe he was a good coach. Maybe the receivers just weren't good. I don't know. But a receivers coach as a head coach, I don't know. When you got so many people out there too. I didn't even know this dude, and I'm a Ravens fan.
I mean, it is definitely an interesting hire. I mean, the last time a team had a very weird hiring was the Giants. I think it was last year when they hired a special teams coach in Joe Judge. So that was, I mean, this one is definitely a weird hire.
Maybe they saw something. I don't know. I don't get paid the Bucks to do that, but
Honestly,
it's weird. It's weird,
it
especially
was
when you have all this.
honestly probably to the point where no one wanted that job and they had to offer it to someone. I mean, right now there's so much
But why wouldn't
uncertainty.
you?
Like you don't even know who the QB for the Texans will be next year. So I don't blame Watson for wanting out. I am very interested to see where he lands. I do think Chicago could put a good package together, but I mean I don't know. It's reportedly that Watson wants to go to the Jets, which makes no sense to me. The Jets
Why would anyone want to
exactly.
go to the
They're a
Jets?
mess of a franchise right now. Oh, sure. Yeah, they got the second overall draft pick, but you're going to have to trade that pick for Watson. So, and then they have nothing else there. So I don't know. I don't know why
And
Watson
honestly,
would want to go from one dumpster fire to the next. So it doesn't make sense. I don't know if the reports are exaggerated or wrong, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
I personally see him wanting to go to the Colts. I think the Colts will make a
I
strong
think
push for him.
I think the Colts, they're the team that you could say any of the QBs that are free agents or on the trade block right now, you could say the Colts are probably the number one destination for all these because the Colts have a strong offensive
Yeah,
line.
they're
They got two really good running backs.
well. They just had that one offensive tackle, their best offensive tackle,
No,
retire though
oh, well, you're
too.
talking about offensive tackle. I was gonna say that their best offensive lineman is Quinn Nelson.
Quentin Nelson. No, they just had oh goodness, I can't think of his name. He just retired though. Um Goodness, I can't think of it.
Yeah, I'm picturing him in my head, but I don't know his name. But
Yeah, he retired. And he was one of their top linemen besides
yeah.
Quentin Nelson.
All right, let's jump into the next topic of so I mean some very very bad happened a couple days ago. Apparently a Seahawks lineman yeah,
Okay,
you want to jump
I'll
into
tell you
talking
about this.
about it?
So Chad Wheeler was arrested last Saturday. He supposedly threw his girlfriend on the bed and strangled her until she lost consciousness, just because she wouldn't bow down to him when he said to. And then I guess she came to, and he looked at her and goes, "Oh my, you're alive?"
Really? I was listening to the
Yeah,
radio and they were actually brought this topic up. And apparently like it was so bad where like they I think it was reported that he has bipolar and he was off his meds and that like he was beating her and then he would stop and start crying and say that he's not a woman beater and then he would beat her again and then he would cry again and they brought up the thing saying like if you're a professional and you're getting paid all that money and that you know that you are bipolar, you need to take your medicine. You know, I don't know why he wasn't on it or if he ran out or what, but it's his responsibility to get it up or be on it all the time because I mean he had to know that this is the way he acts. Yeah,
yeah, oh for sure. And there's no excuse for him to do this. He
exactly.
knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
It's awful. I feel bad
Because
for
you,
his girlfriend at the time or whatever. But you know it's sad to see people lose their careers, but like I mean he did it to himself. That's just not right, and I would never wish that upon any woman to go through that, and I feel really bad for her, and I really hope that she is able to get the help she needs to heal from this incident.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, she feels so bad for her. I mean, no one deserves that. Nobody. And for him to do that, and the thing is, obviously, this isn't his first time. There's no way someone's just gonna sit there and then because she was probably knocked out for a while, and you sit there next to her, you think lifeless body, and then she comes to, and you're like
Yeah.
surprised, like he didn't call 911, nothing.
Yeah, that's so it's so awful, man. I don't even have words to say. Like I don't, I just really hope she heals. And like, he is a crappy person for what he did. But I really hope he gets the help he needs. You know, the mental health or
Yeah,
whatever whenever he is sitting in jail, or whatever it takes, whatever it takes him. Like, I just really hope he gets the help he needs.
uh, he definitely deserves jail time because you're telling me I don't care how big she is. There's no way you're gonna be able to fight against an offensive lineman in
Exactly.
the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, me and
I
you
don't
couldn't
think
even
I
do
would
that.
even want to fight an offensive lineman.
No, and I mean, just honestly, what a piece of shit. I mean, I hope he gets the help, but also
Exactly.
he's a piece of shit. But on to our next segment. Now that we can stop talking about him, let's talk about somewhere where we think some of these free agents are going to land. So I'll do the offense if you
Well,
want to do
I'm
the
I'm pulling
defense.
up the offensive link right now. We can just look at it together.
Okay. Um. So Dak
Well,
Prescott,
he's
he's
gonna
for sure
get
going to stay with the
what's
Cowboys. I
it
think.
called? Tagged or what? Franchise tag.
Fr-
Yeah,
franchise
there's
tags.
no way the Cowboys let him go. I mean, yeah, he is coming off the broken ankle, but they have no one else there. We saw what it was like with Andy Dalton and their circus of their carousel of QBs this year. So Dak's gonna get franchise tag. Philip Rivers retired.
Mitch Trubisky. Honestly, if they don't go for Deshaun Watson, I see the Bears bringing back Trubisky.
I I follow both sides of it. I could see them bringing him back, but at the same time, Pace and Nagy got another year. Why would they want to run it back with a QB that Nagy doesn't even want to work with? You saw how fast he was to bench him at the beginning of the year. And yes, Trubisky came back and he played really well down the stretch. But I don't see them running it back again. I think they're gonna, whether it's Watson or Kirk Cousins or whoever, I don't see them running it back.
Jacoby Brissett's the same way though. If they don't get a quarterback, I Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback for the Colts. And honestly, Jacoby Brissett's, in my personal opinion, not
Yeah,
that
he's not
bad.
bad, but we already saw what he did when he was a starter for the Colts. He's an average QB. He finished 7-9 with the Colts, and we saw Philip Rivers came in and took them to from 7-9 to 10-6. So he's an average QB. Nothing. Nothing special. Nothing too bad. He's a good backup and come jump in and win you a couple games. He's kind of like Andy Dalton. I do think the Cowboys will bring Andy Dalton back to be the backup to Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they will for sure.
Oh, let's talk about Cam Newton. He went to
It's
the
Cam Newton's
Patriots
time in the pay in
on
the
a very cheap deal because the Patriots had no money, but the Patriots gave him the opportunity to start. And Cam Newton before COVID, he looked really, really good. But then he got COVID, and then after that, he couldn't get it going again. it really sucks because, when Cam Newton was healthy, before he even got hurt, the last couple seasons, I mean, he was fun to watch. He took, Superman, doing his Superman thing in the end zone, took the Panthers to a 15-1, and took them to the Super Bowl. I mean, he was fun to watch, and just seeing him like barely able to get 100 yards per game. I know the Patriots receivers are awful, but it really just sucks to see it. It kind of just looks like he can't really throw the ball. I mean, I think his shoulder is still. It's not there anymore. And after the season he had, I don't think he's gonna get a job. I think this is the last we've seen of Cam Newton.
I don't know. I really don't. I could see some teams possibly taking a risk on him. But I could also see him being a backup. I could also see him just being done. I could see him being like, if I'm a backup, I'm
I
gonna
don't
retire.
think. Again, I don't know Cam Newton all that well. Of course, I can't act like I'm his best friend, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe we aren't, but I don't know what Cam Newton will do.
Oh, so I mean, Jameis Winston though.
Yeah,
That's our last QB we're going to talk about free agent wise.
Jameis Winston, I think. I know the Saints want to bring him back. Sean Payne has already said he wants Winston to come back. He liked what he saw in him. He would like to have Taysom Hill and a pocket type passer like Winston, where they can battle it out, and also have one of each type of QB. But I don't know. Winston may want to go somewhere else. I've seen the Colts could be a team that looks at him. Any team that has an opening, he could land somewhere. But I don't know what his market is. I mean, we saw limited action from him this year, which I think he should have started over Taysom Hill. But I'm not Sean Payton, and Sean Payton's been coaching in the NFL more years than I'll ever have a chance to. So I don't know why. I mean, maybe he had a reason why he wanted to start Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston, but him saying he does want to bring him back, I mean, I think it does show some growth. I mean, we saw Winston throw that bomb in the last playoff game for the Saints. I mean, I think he's still a good QB, and I think last offseason he got his eye surgery, and I'm hoping that helps him. Maybe he wasn't able to see well, and that's why he's still the only QB ever to throw for 30 TDs and 30 interceptions in a season.
Yeah, it's nuts. So running backs though, I wanna talk a little bit about good old Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, one of those. It's a hit. I don't know. I mean, if I was the Packers, I would bring
Yeah,
him
I
back.
think the Packers aren't
I
bringing
would love.
back. I mean, I know they have AJ Dillon, but I mean, Aaron Jones is just Aaron Jones. He's pretty good. They'll probably end up franchise tagging him, and I think he'll be back in Green Bay.
Um, if not though, I think he'll go to the Jets. I think the Jets will go
I
for him.
could I could see that. I mean, looking at the list, other than
Um,
Aaron Jones, the rest of the running backs are they're good. They could be good, but they've also been bad. I mean,
Chris Carson, James Conner's time in Pittsburgh is
yeah,
done, in
James
my personal
Conner
opinion.
he hasn't been the same since the injury. Kenyon Drake wasn't the best this year. Philip Lindsay's been hurt a lot. Leonard Fournette had, limited action this year. Todd Gurley looked awful down in Atlanta. Le'Veon Bell went to the Chiefs and
Le'Veon Bell's just
got
not what he used
no
to be.
rush or no handoffs or anything. Mark Ingram, his time he was inactive most of the end of the year, so his time.
And he's already
Well,
been
yeah, he
told he's
got
getting
released.
released.
Yeah.
They'll bring back Gus Edwards, though. The Ravens will definitely bring back Gus Edwards because they like multi running backs, which Gus Edwards
Yeah, I
is
mean,
so
especially with the
underrated.
offense they run out there, I think Gus Edwards has to be
Hmm?
brought back.
I mean, there's really not many though good running backs
Yeah,
for
I
agency this
mean,
year.
it. The thing with running backs is it's so easy to replace them. You could probably find a guy in the draft that'll be better than most of these guys.
There's only like I'm gonna say 5 running backs in the league that are not replaceable. Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, and um, Aaron Jones.
I agree with the top four. Aaron Jones. I haven't really watched him a whole lot, so I really don't have an opinion.
Aaron Jones is one of those guys that just, and I don't know if they want to pay him now. They probably not want to pay him, but he's one of those he can catch, he can run, he can
Yeah.
block, he does it
All
all.
right, let's jump into wide receivers.
The wide receivers this year are good. Allen Robinson. So there's rumors about the Ravens getting
Well, if you're
him.
the Ravens, you got to get someone. Whether it's Robinson, Chris Goodwin, Kenny Galladay, Smith Schuster, Corey Davis, Curtis Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Will Fulmer is okay. I mean, you even got. I mean, Antonio Brown will probably be brought back to the Bucs, but Marvin Jones. You got to get someone. Ty Hill and Sammy Watkins. You got to get
Yeah.
someone.
Um, I personally think Allen Robinson's time as a Bear's over, and I honestly see a Jaguars
I don't
reunion.
think he's going to go back to the mess of the Jaguars, even if they're under a new coach.
I don't know, man. They got Trevor. They'll have Trevor Lawrence. They need a true number one receiver. I think they're going to hand him a lot of money, and he takes it.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens, but
Chris Godwin. I think he'll go back to the
yeah, I
Bucs.
think the Bucs will try to bring him back. I mean, both him and Antonio Brown are free agents. They're in the Super Bowl right now. They're focused on Sunday, but I'm sure they're also thinking about wanting to bring him and even probably Antonio Brown back, which Antonio Brown, I think, is to the point where he would come back just to play with Brady for another year or two. So,
Yeah, for sure. Chris Godwin. This is the one I think the Ravens are going to go after. I think the Ravens go after Chris Godwin. He's like 6'5", 215. He's a big guy. He's big, strong. I think they go for Chris
I think
Godwin.
like I said,
Or Kenny Galladay. I'm sorry, Kenny
Kenny
Galladay, not Chris
Galladay.
Godwin.
I could, I could see it.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
don't think he's going back to Dallas. Because they got.
You mean the
Oh, he was on the
Lions?
Lions. Oh, I was thinking of someone else.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay was on the
Yeah.
Lions.
Well, with the mess in Detroit, yeah, he's definitely going somewhere else. So I could see the Ravens going after him. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, goes back to the Steelers.
That will be the dumbest decision the Steelers will make. Juju Smith is just a younger Antonio Brown. He's a cancer in the locker room. They need to cut him off and just get another receiver. The Steelers are just known for making just shitty receivers. Like they're good, but they're just awful
Yeah,
people.
I don't know what that kind of culture they have right now going down there. I mean, because you saw Le'Veon Bell, you saw Antonio Brown, and
Antonio
now
Brown.
Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know what they're building down there, but I hope they end up trying to change it. So it may be by doing that is cutting ties with Juju Smith-Schuster to show the other players to what is the word I'm looking for? Make a make a statement.
Make a
So
statement. And honestly, I don't really see anyone picking him back up. I mean, he you don't want that kind of attention where he's dancing on other people's logos or too busy with his TikToks and stuff like that. You don't want that on your team. I don't know. I see some teams possibly going for him. I mean, one or two teams is bound to go for him. He's a decent receiver. But a lot of teams won't because they don't want that in their locker room. I know the Ravens won't. The Ravens won't want that in their locker room at all. I mean, they cut Earl Thomas because he was a locker room cancer. But no. Corey Davis, though. I can see the Ravens actually
I
going for
think that
Corey
would be
Davis,
a good
too.
fit. Corey Davis, his first 4 years weren't the greatest, but this was the year he finally broke out, and it's a good year to do it because now he's a free agent and he can earn his money. I do think the Titans will make a push to bring him back. Having him and who I don't know who's the other receiver? AJ Brown.
A.J.
I
Brown.
mean that's a good duo right there, and especially when you got Derrick Henry in the backfield, and Tannehill is a decent QB, and I think they're gonna make a push to bring him back.
Yeah. Will Fuller. I see Will Fuller going back to the
If
Texans
you're the
possibly.
Texans, you almost have to bring him back
Um,
because, and the thing is, Will Fuller's coming off the PED suspension, so I don't know if he's got much options or. But if you're the Texans, you have to trade Watson. I mean, you got to bring someone back. You got to be able to put some people in the seats. So, and right, I mean, Will Fuller's got to be the.
yeah, because they're talking about possibly letting
Oh
J.J.
yeah,
go. Or
yeah,
J.J. wants out.
exactly. You got to bring someone in to put a couple people in the seats.
Let's take a break from this. J.J. Watt, let's talk about him really quick. Where do you think he's going to go?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what his contract situation is. B, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. So I'm sure the Texans could get a good deal. But where I think he'll go, I have no idea. It's whoever calls and wants him.
I
And so whoever offers the best
I
deal is how it's gonna go.
I personally see him going to the Steelers. I mean, he's got both his brothers there, and him and his brothers, they're both really close. All three of them are. I see him taking a pay cut going to the Steelers,
Yeah,
and
but
that's
he's not a
scary.
free agent. He has to get
That's a
traded
scary
there.
defensive front.
So he's not gonna take a pay cut.
I don't know. I see them making a big push for it, honestly.
Maybe, but I don't know what they're. Hey, let's start this scenario. Totally no rumors about this. What if the Steelers call the Texans and are like, "We'll give you Big Ben for J.J. Watt and a couple of first-round draft picks"? Do you take it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can get a quarterback in the draft. Big Ben's probably going to retire next year. Get the most out of you can out of him now. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a sure. That would make that defense. Imagine Imagine trying to block. Okay, you're the offensive line. The defensive line is Cameron Hayward in the middle. You got T.J. Watt on one end, J.J. Watt on the other. Bro, that would be the best
Yeah.
defensive front in the league. I mean, that would be a crazy situation. Um, so back to our free agents though. Let's get off topic. AJ Green. You think?
I
What do you
I
think?
think AJ Green is done. I don't think
I
he didn't do that spectacular with Joe Burrow. I just think he was a great player, but his time is done.
I agree with that. I see him. I see him testing it free agency. No one's gonna really want him, and he'll be like, "All
I'm
right,
not
I'm
saying
done."
he'll retire. I think some team will give him a chance, but he's just not the guy anymore.
I I personally see him retiring. I
I
really think he
mean,
will.
we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a shame what injuries did to him.
Yeah, one of my favorite receivers of all time. Such a
Yeah.
nice guy too, down there. So tight ends. Let's talk about just honestly two tight ends. Hunter Henry,
Rob
Rob Gronkowski.
Gronkowski is gonna go back to the Bucs. Because I mean he's already retired once. He wants to play with Tom. He'll play maybe 1 or 2 more years and then call it. Hang up the cleats and get back in the wrestling ring again.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Hunter Henry, I see the Chargers making a
I think
big
you
push for him
almost
to come
have
back.
to. I mean, especially the year that they had with Justin Herbert. You know, I feel like Hunter
Yeah.
Henry's. You got to bring him back. You don't want to. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't know how much he was targeted from Justin Herbert, but I just feel like he's too good of a tight end to just let go. So.
I can agree with that. So, you want to take it over? We're not going to talk about line because honestly, no one really
Yeah,
cares about
when's the
linemen.
last time you've seen someone wear a lineman jersey to a football game?
Um, honestly, Browns players when
Okay,
Joe
okay, I'll
Thomas
give you I'll
played.
give you that one.
That's the only. But Joe Thomas was the Cleveland Browns for like 10
Yeah.
years. That's the only player they had that literally was all
The
pro or Pro
one
Bowl every
lineman
year.
jersey, this is totally off topic, that I would want to buy, and I don't even think you could find one. I would probably have to get it custom made. But I would want to get a Brandon Burlsworth, Colts lineman jersey.
Oh, I remember him. Yeah, you could probably get those. Or the Packers lineman that started that trend of chugging
Well,
beer.
Brandon Burlsworth was the lineman for Arkansas, the greatest walk-on ever. And he
Yes, and
died
he
before he signed
died.
his first
Yeah, that was a
contract
good
with the
movie.
Colts. I literally just got done
I think
watching that movie Greater again. Literally before I jumped onto this
such a
podcast.
good movie.
Yeah. It
Good sad
is.
movie. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it to anybody listening. Very good movie. You'll cry. You'll for sure cry. What, he was drafted and 3 days later died. He was going to sign his contract
Yeah.
a
It
day or
was
two
literally
later.
the next day. He was going home to take his mom to church. And then he had to be back in Indianapolis. And he never made it home.
That's crazy just to think of that. So, but let's go to defense. Kyle, you want to
Yeah,
take
I have
over on
to
defense?
pull up the link real quick. All right, clicking on it. Let's see who is available defensive wise. Honestly, like I'm shameful for saying this, but I don't know a lot of these players. I mean, I know Javion Clowney, but he had a bad year this year.
And he's for goodness,
He
is he for
did
the
play for the
Titans
Titans
now?
this year, but he was very bad. I don't think. I know I've
Oh,
heard of Leonard
um,
Williams. I just can't.
Leonard Williams is for he plays for the Giants. The Giants will definitely re-sign him. Ryan Kerrigan, good old Ryan Kerrigan, the face of Redskins football. Sorry, Washington football team for many years.
Yeah, gosh,
He's a
Logan,
free
that's
agent.
racist. Why would you say
He's
the
up.
Redskins?
Sorry. Ryan Kerrigan. I mean, again, the face of Washington for years. Free agent. Talks about him letting him go. 34 years old. I don't think they let him go. I think he goes right back, still dominates just
Yeah.
like he does every
Another
year.
interesting name I see is Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy, goodness, I think he's for the Panthers now. He was a
Yeah, he
Buck for
was
several years.
definitely the face of the franchise down there.
Um, yeah. Just I don't know. I really don't. I can see if he's. I think he's for the Panthers. I see them bringing him back, possibly for like a small deal.
Yeah.
He's getting old. He's getting old. You also got Derek Wolf. The Ravens will definitely re-sign him. He helped out our
You
run
mean
game
run
a lot this
defense?
year. So almost,
Yeah, well, you said run
yeah.
game.
Sorry, that's the offense. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ziggy Ansah. Goodness, that's a weird name to see on
Yeah.
there. Um, I really don't know about Ziggy Ansah. Bro, I
Honestly, I don't
really
even know who
don't.
that is, so I can't even give you any.
Remember he was for the Lions? All right. I'm sorry, viewers. This is kind of
Let's jump
embarrassing.
into defensive tackles here.
No one.
The big name is Ndamukong Suh. Well, he's
I
with
don't
the
know, man.
Bucs right now.
Again, it's so yeah, and
Yeah,
I think he stays with the
he's kind of
Bucs.
been jumping around, especially on those winning teams the last couple of years. Spent a year in LA, Now with the Bucs. I mean, he's still a good player. Don't get me wrong. So
He is, but you don't want that again. You don't want that face on your
yeah, and I mean,
franchise.
unless you have other winning players around you.
Fair. Um, I don't know any of these other people, dude. Sheldon Rankins? I
I
don't
know
know.
Corey Peters. He's a defensive tackle for the Cardinals. They'll probably end up bringing him back on some kind of deal. I mean, but like you said, I don't really know the rest of these guys.
Let's go to linebackers because there's a
Yeah.
lot of big names in linebackers. Let's start with Levante David and Barrett. You know they're killing it right now, man. They've led that
Yeah.
defense to the Super Bowl.
I
Do you
think you
bring them
almost
back?
have to. I mean, especially if you want to keep going.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Bud Dupree. I think they let Bud Dupree walk. You got to start saving money and opening up cap space for TJ Watt. He's
Yeah,
going to want a
I
big,
agree.
big deal.
Oh, another interesting one is Hayshawn Reddick. Uh, he the Cardinals drafted him 4 years ago, and he just never really had a spot. I mean, he never really played well, and so they declined his fifth-year option. And of course, his this year he has a breakout season, getting sacks left and right. Um, I think the Cardinals almost have to franchise tag him. Unfortunately, I think they're gonna have to pay more than what the fifth-year option would have been, but he played himself. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, he
that's kind
played
of biting
himself
him right now.
into getting a better deal, so I think they bring him back.
You got Leonard Floyd, who plays for the Rams right now. I think the Rams bring him back. He did pretty good for them this year,
Yeah,
so
I
I think they bring
do
him back.
think they bring him back, but like you said, he did play well for him this year, so he may be looking for that payday. So who knows? Some other name, another Cardinal is Marcus Golden. I think they try to bring him back. I mean, he's been a solid linebacker for us for a couple years. Nothing too spectacular, but they're probably going to try to bring him back.
And then you got Melvin Ingram here, who's for the Chargers. Yeah, Chargers. Um, Honestly, one of their better linebackers, so they
Yeah,
definitely
I
bring him back for sure.
definitely think they'll make that push.
Oh, this is the one I've been waiting for. So cornerbacks, Pat Pete.
Based on the way he played this year, and based on what he's going to be asking for, you let him go. I love Patrick Peterson. I want him to be a Cardinal for life, but we don't need to pay for a cornerback that is just eh. I mean, he flashes. He has good flashes, good games, but other days he may look like a number two or number three cornerback. And we don't need to. We got Kyler Murray for at least 3 more years on his rookie deal. We gotta use that money and we gotta use that money to try to win a championship before we gotta pay the man. So I don't think we waste our money on a cornerback, especially when you got like
Yeah,
better cornerbacks out there like Xavier Woods or even Richard Sherman or
yeah.
yeah, Desmond King.
Shaquille
I think that's a
Griffin.
big
Heck,
name I've been hearing about. Uh, I think Mackenzie Alexander. I don't know. I can't picture. Sounds like I've heard that name. You could even, give Josh Norman a flyer. I'm sure he could. Jason McCourtney. I mean, I think there's just other cornerbacks out there. You could even give Sidney Jones a call. Bring him in. So.
so do the Packers re-sign Kevin King after that awful playoff game that he had,
Kevin King? Um,
where he's letting up? Yeah, he was the corner that was letting
I
up
don't know
touchdowns
if you
left and
can
right, man.
really. I mean, the Bucs are the Bucs. Like, they have weapons all over that offense. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans. The list just goes on and on. So, I don't know if you can really
Yeah.
decide whether to bring him back over one game. I don't know what he did in the rest of his games this year, but I'm sure they'll factor everything into it. I have no idea what the Packers will do. We're not the ones sitting in the front office talking about this daily, so.
Thank goodness.
All right, well, let's look at safeties.
Justin Simmons. The Broncos got to bring him back,
Honestly,
right?
I can't even tell you who that is, so I don't know. I'm looking at the list. Other than Clinton Dix, that's about and Xavier Woods I've heard of. I don't know and I know DJ Swearinger, but the rest of these guys.
You are making
I
us
don't know.
look bad.
These defensive players that are free agents, I don't know. If I've heard of McLeek Hooker, which isn't he the Colts or Luke, which or used to be?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think they let him go. He's just been injured his
yeah.
whole entire career.
Oh, that was. I guess they had the free safeties and strong safeties together.
Yeah. Special teams again. No one cares about special teams. So, all right.
Yeah,
Kyle, would
let's
you like to go for our next
well,
segment, sir?
before we jump into a mock draft, let's just give our thoughts this last weekend. What's did you expect the Bucs to come out? And I think the funny thing is I want to bring back up. We predicted both these games wrong. How do you feel about that, Logan?
I feel like the
Yeah,
NFL might be
definitely,
rigged
Rick.
because
But we did think the Packers were going to win. I felt like Aaron Rodgers had a chip on his shoulder. But I think we did mention that, the Bucs were hot, and you can never bet against Tom Brady. And he showed us that. Can't bet against him, so.
I can't believe that Chiefs
Yeah, I
defense how
was
they stopped the
not.
Bills.
My prediction last week was Patrick Mahomes would get hurt, and it didn't happen. Patrick Mahomes played really well, so he proved me wrong. So, and he beat the Bills. He's going to back-to-back Super Bowls, and jumping into it. What's your predictions for next week?
Chiefs easily.
I was asked my principal, so maybe some of you viewers or listeners might know. I'm a school teacher, so my principal, or my assistant principal, we were standing while kids were getting dismissed, and I said, "What's new?" And he said, "Nothing really." And he asked me, he was like, "So who you got for the Super Bowl?" And I did a big sigh, and I was like, I want to say Chiefs, but like I just said, you can't bet against Tom Brady. So I personally want to see the Chiefs win. I want to see Andy Reid get another ring, his second ring. I want to see Patrick Mahomes win another
I
ring.
I want to see. I want to see the Bucs win it. Yeah, Tom Brady win his seventh, but I want to see like Mike Evans get it, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Bruce
Yeah,
Arians. I want to see
I
Bruce Arians
do
win one.
think you have a good point there, and I would be fine with the Bucs winning, but I think Patrick Mahomes is so fun to watch, and we've seen. I just want to see like I was saying last week. We grew up a little bit in the Tom Brady era, but we missed some of the years. And Patrick Mahomes,
I'm just tired of the Chiefs
I
winning already.
understand that feeling. But when you're witnessing some greatness, you gotta roll with it and enjoy it. So I do want to see the Patrick Mahomes win another one. But that brings us up. So that we
Yeah.
have one more game this year. So I think we made both of our predictions. I think we both want to see the Chiefs win. So all right,
I don't want
yeah,
to see
okay,
the
that's
Chiefs
what I meant.
win,
You were
but they're going to
choosing the
win.
Chiefs to win, but you don't want to see them win. So Let's jump into our last segment of the day. We're gonna look at a mock draft here. So let's pull up the link here and let's look.
Can you resend me that link, sir? I do not have it.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, for sure,
Well,
Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence number
yeah,
one overall, bro.
definitely. There's no way he is not number one. I'll send it to you on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like So yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer. Trevor Lawrence number one. I've noticed though in a lot of drafts, Justin Fields, man, he's been dropping on the draft boards.
Yeah, speaking of mock drafts, I saw uh Justin Fields in this one mock being the 5th QB off the board and dropping to the Patriots at number 15. And I just thought it was the craziest
Really?
thing I've ever seen. But okay, I sent you the link via
I
your
mean, could
email,
happen.
so let me know once you get it pulled up.
Mm-hmm. Which one are we looking at here, good man? We gonna
Let's
look
look
at
at
Ryan
the
Wilson?
first two. So Ryan Wilson and Chris Trapace. Or I butchered that name. I'm sorry. If Chris ever listens to this podcast, I am sorry.
Oh, he for sure won't, bro.
But yeah, Trevor
He for sure
Lawrence
won't.
number one, both of them. But like we were just talking about, Justin Fields dropping. They both have Zach Wilson going second overall. Interesting though, the Ryan has him going to the Jets, so the Jets do not trade for Watson. They draft Zach Wilson.
And Chris has him going to the
So
Texans.
that means Watson will go to the Jets in his scenario. And then number 3, they have two different. You have Devontae Smith or Micah Parsons.
I have to disagree with both of these, man. They're going to.
Hello? Logan? We may have lost Logan. I have not heard from him in a couple seconds.
I'm here.
Oh wait,
I don't know what
Logan,
happened.
you there?
But anyway, you got to go with that Oregon tackle, Penny Sewell, dude.
I see your point, but I think Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, Alabama wide receiver, you almost have to think about drafting him just to pair him with Tua. If Tua is still there. Now, whether he gets traded for Watson, that's a whole nother story for another. Then I could see them going for the lineman. I do think the lineman is very good, but you got to at least consider Devontae Smith.
Yeah, well, Penny Sewell's a monster. So number 4 with the Falcons, we got Ryan said Penny Sewell, Oregon offensive tackle. Chris said Penny Sewell, Oregon offensive tackle. I'm sorry, he did not say that. He said Patrick Surtain, cornerback, Alabama. I mean, the Falcons of Penny Sewell's for sure. They need to beat that O-line still. They need to get Matt Ryan some protection. But also, I see them going with the linebacker, outside linebacker. I really do there. Maybe if Micah Parsons there, they take him. They drafted a corner last year that was looking pretty good. Or maybe if Justin Fields there, they take Justin Fields.
Just like Justin Fields is from Georgia, so that very well could be a pick for them. So let's jump to the Bengals. They both have them taking linemen. And I think that's the number one need for the Bengals. I mean, you got Joe Burrow. He's coming off ACL surgery. You got to give him protection. Now, whether the Oregon lineman is there or you go with the next best guy, which is the Northwestern.
Deshaun Stater. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's almost a have to for the Bengals. So I do see them going lineman, whichever one drops to their pick. So
They got
number 6, two
Kyle
very
Pitts,
different
tight end out
picks.
of Florida.
Ryan has, yeah, Kyle Pitts is a very good tight end, but taking him
If you're
6
gonna get
overall, I mean, it would
if
be
you're
a
gonna get
good
Kyle
weapon.
Pitts, you're gonna trade
Or
down because he's definitely gonna be there at 10, 12. Because the Lions won't take him. You know,
yeah,
the Panthers won't. I see Panthers going quarterback, honestly. But
yeah. But going to who Chris has the Eagles taking Justin Fields. If they do that, that means they're trading wins, but
no,
I
they
don't see that happening. Especially you just drafted Jalen Hurts last year. Like you're not gonna draft Justin Fields. Especially with their need for wide receiver or even a tight end. Like you need
yeah.
weapons. You're not gonna draft
They
Justin
always
Fields.
go wide receivers though. If you notice in the last few years, honestly, that's all they do is they go in the first or second round. The Eagles go wide receiver, and their wide receivers never turn out good.
Yeah. Well, they draft the wrong wide receivers. You had Justin Jefferson or Jeffers there, and you drafted
Yeah,
Rigar or
yeah.
whatever his name
Which
is. I mean,
I don't know.
that
So the
just I
next
don't
pick
know.
they have the Lions. Ryan has the Lions taking Trey Lance. I don't see that now.
I think after the Stafford trade, I don't think the Lions go QB. I think they're gonna roll with Jared Goff, especially with his contract.
Nope.
I don't see them drafting a QB, so I don't. But Jamar Chase, I think that could be a pick they could go.
And I agree. I really agree. So 8, they got the Panthers taking Caleb Farley, cornerback out of Virginia Tech. I could see that because they let Bradbury leave last year in free agency. So I could see that. But also, Chris has him taking Trey Lance, a quarterback out of North Dakota. I could see that.
I think I could see either one. I do think the Panthers will go a QB, whether Justin Fields is there, or maybe even Trey Lance could be a little project. I mean, they still have Teddy Bridgewater's. I mean, let Trey Lance sit for a year or two, or at least 6, 8 games, and let Teddy start, and then go turn your table to Trey Lance. So,
I can agree with that.
how about Broncos?
Oh, they got your dad is a big Broncos fan, so I'll let you take this one because you grew up around the Broncos pretty much.
They have two very different picks. They have QB Mac Jones, Ryan has, and defensive lineman from Michigan.
Quiddy Pay.
Personally, I like Drew Lock. I don't. I know he is inconsistent. I don't think you give up on him just yet, and I don't think Mac Jones takes them to that next level. I think you give Drew Lock another year. So I don't think I would not go a QB. I do think Mac Jones is a good QB, and you definitely got to consider it at that pick, especially with the carousel the Broncos have had since Peyton Manning
Yeah,
retired. But I could always see them going defense. The Broncos had a strong defense when Payne was there, and I could see them trying to beef up the defense. So
the next one we got is the Cowboys at number 10, taking Patrick Surtain, uh, cornerback out of Alabama, or Rashawn Slater, offensive lineman, Northwestern. I can see either one of those. I mean, they lost. Oh goodness, who did they just lose? They lost one of their tackles, and I think he retired. So I could see that. Maybe moving to center because they never replaced Travis Frederick. But I can also see him getting a corner since they let
yeah,
um, Bradley Jones, Byron last year in free agency. So it's up in the air with that one. It could those two good picks either way.
Yeah. All right. Since we're pretty far into the podcast. Let's just look at some of the big names and just talk about them on each of the
Let's talk about our teams real quick.
mocks here.
Uh,
Yeah, let's go down and look at our teams. Okay, it looks like Cardinals are first. They both have them taking cornerback, which that is our biggest need, especially if we let Patrick Peterson go. You gotta get a cornerback at some point. It's hard to tell. It's hard because the Jace Horn one, I believe looking back at it, that's the third key cornerback off the board. Which, maybe you go best available player, but I do not agree that cornerback is our biggest need. So I could see them going, especially at number 16. You're in the middle of the draft of each round. I mean, cornerback, it could be a safe bet for them to go.
Yeah. So the Ravens, 27. They got Carlos Basham Jr., the edge out of Wake Forest. We do need an edge. We're probably going to let both our edges walk in free agency. Matthew Judon and the guy we attained from the Vikings. I can't believe his name. But he also hadn't taken Rondell Moore, a sophomore out of Purdue, wide receiver. No. First off, no. The one receiver I can see them taking at 27 is probably Terrace Marshall Jr., the wide receiver out of LSU. And we can honestly get Creed Humphrey in the second round, which I would love. If we got Creed Humphrey in the second round, that would be awesome. Because we need a center bad. And centers really don't go in the first round. So that's fair. But Rondell Moore, no, I don't see him going that high up. Really don't.
Yeah. Let's look at some of the names real quick. Let's see. Going back to Ryan's draft, they have Devontae Smith going 12th overall to the 49ers, which if he's there, I think you got to take him. You got to give Jimmy G or whoever's going to be the QB for the 49ers next year a weapon. When you get a Heisman winner sitting right there, I think you got to take him. Jamar Chase at 14 for LSU, for the Vikings. Again, you pair him with Justin Jefferson. Is that his last name?
Yes. And they also have Adam Thielen too.
LSU. Oh yeah, I did. I mean, you have those three wide receivers. Kirk Cousins has no reason.
Yeah, finally earned that $80 million, right?
5,000 yards.
They also got Justin Fields,
but number
15
to the Patriots. I told you, there's a couple mocks having him drop that far. I think if he's available there for the Patriots, you got to take him.
Yeah, for sure. So. But another thing is he has the Steelers taking a D lineman.
I don't know the Steelers' real needs, but I also see the other guy having Alex Leatherwood, offensive lineman for Alabama, get picked by them. So I don't know the Steelers and their needs all that well.
For sure, man, they take a running back. They got to. I mean, they want to get rid of Connor James. The Steelers are a big run-heavy team. You got Big Ben for a couple of years, maybe one or two. I see them possibly going running back or quarterback. Maybe they trade up, get a quarterback. Let them learn behind Big Ben for a couple of years.
I don't know. Yeah, I do agree they need to get some kind of QB. But at the same time, they also did just sign Dwayne Haskins. I don't know how they view Dwayne Haskins, but they viewed him enough to give him a chance. So they must like him, something they see in him. So I don't know if they'll go QB in the first round. Maybe you go in the second or third round. Maybe you draft. I know a lot of the QBs this year. I mean, you have Ian Book, you have Sam Ellinger, you have a bunch of guys that could be projects. I don't think any of those I named are necessarily going to be QBs that you could build a team around, but I could see them bringing in a QB, drafting one late rounds, but I don't think they'll go first round QB. But something else I wanted to point out is not so Ryan had Justin Fields going 15 overall, but Chris had Kyle Pitts going to the Patriots, tight end. I do think that would be a good pick. We know that how the Patriots love their tight ends. And when you get an offensive weapon like Kyle Pitts available at number 15, with the weapons that the Patriots have, like next to none, I think you almost have to go Kyle Pitts there.
Yeah.
So looking at the draft, going back to the Steelers, you said running back. Running backs have been very hard to go in the first round the last couple of years. You always get a late one, but let's just think about it. The year that Derrick Henry won the Heisman, he was a second round draft pick. And we're talking about Derrick Henry. So I just don't see them going running back in the first round.
But also when Derrick Henry was drafted, they didn't think he was going to amount to much.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot from that draft, but I mean, running backs are so replaceable. I mean, they even have the Bucs. Ryan has the Bucs taking a running back with the 31st overall pick, so he's predicting the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. But and they already have Ronald Jones. Yeah, Leonard Fournette's a free agent. But, I mean, running backs are so replaceable.
Well, I would like to thank, if you are still listening, kudos to you, because I can't listen to my voice for this long.
Yeah, I would like to thank you for spending over an hour of your day with us. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we look forward to you listening to our next one. So hope you have a great rest of the day, and see you next week.
You have a good one, Kyle. Thanks, guys, again.